views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, my name is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. I'm his host and producer. Today, at our home studio beside me, to my left, is Mr. Curtis Smith.
Hi,
Hey,
Patty.
kiddo. Hey, kiddo.
It's great to be here.
I know. He's Chief Marketing and Communication Officer with Lasting Change, Inc.
That's right.
He formerly worked at 21 Alive TV station as its weatherman. Oh, so what did you do, eh?
It's actually fairly nice. It's chilly, but the sun's out.
Cool and crisp and even.
Right.
So, you are working with Lasting Change, Inc. And your title is Chief Marketing and Communications Officer.
Right.
What is it? What do you do?
Yeah, a lot of different things. Lasting Change is a Christian nonprofit 501c3 mental health organization. And we have 4 divisions underneath the Lasting Change umbrella: Lifeline Youth and Family Services, Crosswinds Counseling, Pierston Woods Academy, and Wheatfield Academy. So we're in the mental health space, and we have 2 essentially counseling organizations and 2 residential organizations.
Wow.
And so I'm in charge of all the communications across all 4 of those divisions, and then Lasting Change, and then I am the head of the marketing department for them as well.
Hello, that's a job in itself. I tell
It
you.
is. It's a big job.
And your major duties, exactamo, what is it?
Yeah. They're different because we have very different populations that we serve. So Crosswinds Counseling is a public-facing mental health organization full of great therapists that do amazing work. And we have therapists in Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, and they serve people online as well. And so we need to get the word out so that they get more clients get helped by our counselors. Then we have Lifeline, for example, which is a very different organization because it works with the state. So all Lifeline clients come to us through the Department of Child Services or probation. So these are folks who aren't choosing to have counseling or therapy. It's being mandated to them.
Oh, by law?
By the state.
By the court? By the state, yeah.
Yes, often by the by the court, but either through DCS or probation usually is how they come to us. So we don't necessarily need to market ourselves to the public there, but we work a lot with the state, and we're always communicating with the state about what we do. So there's a lot of marketing and communication across all the divisions.
And you're an officer.
No saluting is necessary, though.
Too late. So this includes Crosswinds Counseling. Exactly what is it, and who started it?
Yeah, it started 11, 12 years ago by Mark Terrell, who was the CEO of Lasting Change. He has since retired. But he started it a little more than 10 years ago, and it is a counseling agency. It is mental health counseling, therapists, again in Indy and Fort Wayne, who work with people on a variety of issues. They work with individuals, families, couples, teens, kids. We work with everybody.
Groups?
Groups, usually not, we don't have a ton of groups, but yeah, that would be a possibility.
Group therapy, you mean?
Yeah, so we do all kinds of counseling, and we do that again in Indy and Fort Wayne and online. And
Oh.
we are a Christian organization, so we sometimes will bring our faith into those conversations if it's warranted and if it's asked for. We don't force that upon anybody, but all of our counselors and therapists have that faith grounding, and that helps them bring an even better,
Peaceful.
peaceful and even better product to our clients.
So its main mission back 10 years ago and now, is it the same or different or?
Yeah, I would say it's the same. We want to bring hope and change hearts. So people are struggling. We know that. People come to us who have issues either individually or with their spouse or with their kids or with coworkers or people in the community. Whatever their issues are, they bring them to us, and our hope is to bring them hope and to help them get healthier mentally and emotionally and sometimes even spiritually.
A whole being.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll hear the word a holistic approach is often said, and we believe that. We believe that mental and emotional and spiritual and physical all tie together to give us our health, and our therapists work hard to make people healthier and to help them get healthier.
Do you have dietitians there?
We don't have dietitians. So yeah, we don't do a lot with the physical. Most of our work is in the mental and emotional and spiritual space.
And it's not just Fort Wayne area, like you said before. It's in Allen County.
Yeah, so through online counseling, we have therapists that can serve people all over Indiana. We have a couple therapists who are licensed to serve people in other states as well.
Ah.
But physical locations, Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, and then through the magic of technology, like we're using right now, we can serve clients outside of those two areas too.
So you got a phone number that the people can reach Crosswinds?
Yeah, there are two easy ways to get in touch with Crosswinds. One is our phone number, which is 877-594-9204. So 877-594-9204. And then you can go to crosswindscounseling.org as well. And that is where you can schedule and see all of our therapists rather, and meet them and see their availability, and you can schedule your appointment right there online yourself.
Now, if you are shy and you need help and you want to reach out to Crosswinds,
how
can you encourage the people who need help to reach out?
You know, this has historically been a big issue in mental health counseling. We think that the stigma is slowly going away, but it is slow. And then a lot of people are shy about it. A lot of people are reserved and scared about it. A lot of people don't know exactly what it is. And so, you know, they might think, well, I don't know, I don't want to try that. But all it really is having a conversation with somebody.
Relationships.
Yeah, relationships designed to help you with people who are skilled and trained and have degrees and licenses to understand how to help other people. So it really is, it's private, it's secure, it's a safe place. It's actually a pretty easy process. I think a lot of people make this whole counseling and therapy thing out to be this big scary thing. And it's really not. It's really small and intimate and relational. It's just people.
Mano a mano.
Right.
All right. I'm bipolar type 2. I went to NAMI a couple of times. And Carriage House. Do you work with Carriage House?
No, they're a separate entity.
Okay. I went there because I was being switched to different type of medicines. I like guinea pig. I'm all right now. But they could use. Can someone like me who's on meds be able to be a counselor, or do you have to have someone who's not with mental health problems?
No, I would say the only stipulation to being a counselor is your degree and your license. So all of our counselors, all of our therapists have advanced degrees. And they're either all licensed or working towards a license, because a license requires you to do so many hours.
It's not
in
on
the
the
field.
job type of training or anything? No.
Not really. No. So it's not. It's something that you have to go to school for and be trained in before you can get into the field.
Do you have volunteers come in and help somehow?
No,
In the office or?
No, everyone that we have is an employee. We have back office workers, we have schedulers, we have people who help with all the logistics and operations of Crosswinds, but they're all employees.
So is it part-time or full-time?
We have both. We have therapists who work part-time and we have therapists who work full-time.
A little bit of this?
Yeah, both are available.
So how many counselors actually work for the whole shebang of Crosswinds Counseling?
Yeah, the number is in the lower 30s right now.
Oh.
I can't remember if it's 31 or 32, but it's right in that number. It's right around 30.
Is that good?
You know, we would love to have more, but you know, we don't want to. It's a fine line of growing too fast. We want to have the right number to help the clients we have. So I think it's a good number right now, but what we're more focused on is the quality of work. So if we're doing great work with 10 counselors or if we're doing great work with 100 counselors, we're more focused on helping people and doing the work. I hope that we continue to grow. I would love to see our impact spread. So I would love to see more counselors come. But right now I love the 30 or so that we have.
And for each counselor, how many people do they normally see to talk with or to help?
Yeah, they all have different caseloads. They all are, you know, that there's a real ebb and flow to that.
Do you have a lot of people come to you?
We do. We have helped thousands of people this year. Yeah, literally.
Muzzle tap.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
But generally speaking, our therapists try to do at least 23 face-to-face hours a week. So, you know, that's with different people, sometimes with couples. So, yeah, we help a lot of people, and man, our therapists do amazing work.
So, when the counselors cannot help really, or there's an emergency like suicide hotline, what number is that?
Yeah.
988?
I think it is
988, yes,
yeah,
it
that's
is.
right.
I just looked
Yeah,
it up.
so we recommend that if you're in an emergency, if you're in a dire situation and it's beyond a counseling need, to call them. We're not a hospital. We're not the police or the fire
the
department
police
or the
help you?
ambulance. You know, we certainly could contact them if we needed
If
to.
you have
Typically, we
yeah.
don't need to.
That's good.
Yep.
But do you have, do you send some of your patients if they're to the hospital, if they need it?
If that would be needed, we would do would do
Counseling.
that. That's not typical, but
Yeah.
we will do whatever we can to help our clients in any way we can.
I'm doing this a lot. Sorry.
I appreciate it. That's a good sign.
So what are some of the subjects the patients come in to talk about?
It could be anything. So I would say most of it probably falls under the general category of anxiety. And then you get people who have work issues or relational issues with their spouse or struggling with the kids. So a lot of relational issues, but anxiety and fear and depression, these are things that are running rampant in our society. And so I would say most people seem to fall into one of those two categories, kind of the anxiety, under the anxiety umbrella, or relational pieces, need help with some of the key relationships in their lives.
How about in a family there's abuse or anger? How do you help them?
Yeah.
Especially if the person who is doing the abuse or is very angry all the time with kids and whatever.
Yeah, I that would be a very difficult situation to navigate, obviously. I'm not a counselor.
I know.
I'm not degreed or licensed in any way, and I love people, but I am not qualified to be a counselor, that's for sure. So I wouldn't be able to speak intelligently to the specifics that you would help in that circumstance, but I know that our counselors do know how to do that. And so
that's good.
no matter where you are in your life, no matter what you're navigating right now, a Crosswinds counselor can help you do that better.
So a patient can get help from Crosswind counselors. They got to get over the shyness or the stigma of mental health issues and all that. I know what that's like. I've been through it myself.
Yeah.
So, the number you already said.
Yep.
Just say it again.
Yeah, it's 877-594-9204. That is the number, and then crosswindscounseling.org is the website, where again you can, everything's right there on the website. You can meet all of our counselors, see our office locations, the phone number's there. You can, there's a schedule now button, so you can look at calendars and pick a date. Pick a time
good.
of day. Yeah, you can schedule yourself right there online.
Do the therapists or counselors themselves go out to their patients' home if they're needed?
No, typically all of our counseling happens in a Crosswinds office or online. Those would be the two normal avenues. Because of online, you know, that really alleviates a lot of the travel concerns.
Are you on Zoom?
Yeah, we recently moved to Microsoft Teams,
Cool.
but I believe we still have the capability to do Zoom. So wherever a client is technology-wise, we can meet them there and help them.
Cool. Do you have, for Crosswinds Counseling, video several minutes long explaining what they are?
Sort of. We do a podcast.
That's good.
Yeah, where you get to hear from the counselors and they talk about a number of different topics, but you get to kind of see who they are. So online there are videos where you get to meet the counselors, see them in a podcast setting. We don't really have a video that explains exactly what the process is of sitting down with a counselor, because it's different but it's different for everybody, and that's what makes it hard to kind of do one of those.
Because every case is different.
Every case is different. Everybody brings something different to the table. Everyone's looking for a different outcome. If you and your spouse are struggling, then you don't need the same thing that somebody who's struggling with a 5-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, or maybe you do. Maybe he's like a 5-year-old sometimes. He's behind the camera chuckling.
I'm lucky I'm over here. Anyways, for each podcast, how long? Is it basically several minutes, 5, 6
Yeah,
minutes?
we aim to be at 10 minutes or less.
10 minutes?
So most of them are probably in the 8 to 10 minute range. They're pretty quick little podcasts, and I really think the therapists have done a great job of really explaining who they are. You get to know them, and yet they cover material, and you get to see their expertise, and you get to see just a taste of how smart they are, how well they are wired to navigate some of these things.
Who's the head honcho of Crosswinds Counseling?
Well, the CEO of Lasting Change is Tim Smith.
Tim Smith.
He's been there, no relation. He's been there.
Wait a minute, is that the one that ran?
Yeah, he ran for mayor for a few years ago.
I tried interviewing that laddie. He's tough.
Yeah, he ran for mayor of Fort Wayne several years back.
I remember him.
Yep. And has been with us for about 3.5 years or so, and he's been our CEO for 2 years.
Good show.
Yeah.
And what is his duties do?
Yeah, as the CEO, he sits over all of Lasting Change, and so Crosswinds, Lifeline, Wheatfield Academy, Pearson Woods Academy, and his job is to keep everybody going in the right direction, growing, financially viable, but more important than that, purpose-driven. So we always talk at work about the fact that we are purpose first, but business is important. So we have to strike that balance of having a viable business so that we can stay afloat, but all of that is so that we can do the purpose, so that we can help people and love people, and from our perspective as a Christian nonprofit, love them with the love of Christ.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And you know, I just finished looking out there, I saw a squirrel at the window. That's what took me away. Over the years,
Yeah.
you interviewed several famous people about mental health.
Yeah.
Who that?
Probably the most famous person on the topic of mental health, Suzanne Crouch, our Lieutenant Governor of the state of Indiana. I got to interview her, and she's passionate about mental health issues and helping our state in that way. I've interviewed the governor himself, Eric Holcomb. I've interviewed a lot of CEOs in town.
Statesmen.
Congressman Jim Banks.
Oh.
I've interviewed him.
Senators.
I don't know if I've interviewed
You should try a senator.
a U.S. senator.
Try a U.S. senator.
Well, Jim Banks is running for U.S. Senate, so maybe soon I'll be able to say I interviewed a U.S. senator.
Dropping names, are you?
Well, you asked me to.
I know.
You pushed me in that direction.
My error, or is it my luck? Anyways, so you basically talk, like you said, on mental health. Why this topic?
Yeah, because it is all we do at Lasting Change. We're only in the mental health space. That looks different based on the different populations we help, and we have 2 residential properties. So sometimes we're all in 24/7, 365 with our residents.
Residents, tell the difference between residents and the other.
Yeah, so a client is you come in, you see a counselor for an hour a week or a couple hours or whatever you need. You kind of dictate that, and then you go home and you live your life, and hopefully the counselor has helped you live that life more effectively and with better relationships. A resident actually lives on our property, so they are there. Yeah, so we have 2 residential properties where young men live.
Like Parkview Behavioral.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, slightly different. The population that we work with is young men, basically teenage young men. And so they have, for Pearson Woods Academy, they have been mandated to have this service. And for Wheatfield Academy, their families are choosing to have this service. But they literally live on our property 24/7 and go through school and months of training, and they're getting therapy. They're also getting relational development. So it's a very different model than counseling in an office.
It's helping to educate and guide them, and so they can think on their own, be by themselves.
Absolutely.
Some of them, I guess, cannot lead.
Yeah, if they're there on the state side, the state has mandated that they be there. So they need to work through our program, show real progress, graduate from our program. Wheatfield Academy is more the family choice, but it's still the same type of setup where they work through education, therapy, programming to get better, to get healthier, to have a different perspective on life. And our goal in both settings is to equip them to be healthy members of the community and to be healthy and productive members of society. Yeah.
How about the people who are substance abuse?
Yeah.
How do you help them?
Yeah, if someone comes to us with those issues, it would be up to the therapist to assess where exactly they are in their journey, what to do, how to help them. It might be a situation where we suggest they see somebody else, but that would be on a case-by-case basis.
You're a gentleman. And what would you like to share with my audience, giving them hope, us hope, for our mental well-being, physical, mental, spiritual?
I think one of the things that brings people a lot of hope is to know that the stigma is going away.
I hope so.
That more and more people are stepping up and saying, you know what, I could benefit from seeing a counselor. And
not be ashamed.
And to know that thousands of people right here in Fort Wayne and Indianapolis and all over our state are being helped by loving people who are skilled and trained and come at it from a faith component of loving Jesus and wanting to spread that love. I think that brings me hope. It brings me encouragement to know that Crosswinds Counseling exists and that it's doing this amazing work.
Now remember, some people who are being helped by Crosswinds Counseling are not Christian, but they do get help with the love of Jesus.
Yeah. So one thing that we really strive for is not to hit anybody over the head with
Never.
it, not to force it down their throat.
If they will just go by the way you are, by example.
Exactly. Your actions, that's the best way. You know, the old saying, I think it was St. Francis of Assisi who said, preach the gospel, whenever necessary, use words.
And Jesus is the Word.
Right. Absolutely. So we don't hit anybody over the head, don't shove it down anyone's throat.
No.
But if anyone wants that
Yes.
as part of their counseling,
Right.
we welcome that conversation. And if anybody says, you know what, I don't believe what you believe, I don't want to bring my spiritual beliefs into this
Yeah,
conversation,
okay.
then we respect that, and counseling goes on without it.
So these kids, young men,
Yeah.
what's the age group?
Yeah, generally 12 to 17. There can be... there can be a few outliers. Occasionally we've had some boys younger than that. Occasionally we've had some boys kind of in that aged out phase of being over 17.
Oh.
But most of them are in the 12 to 17 range historically.
And with adults,
Adults, any age.
any age?
Yeah.
Do baby up 8?
Yeah, through Crosswinds, we help young kids, we help school kids, we help teenagers, young adults, senior citizens, couples, families. Nothing is a barrier there in terms of age, race,
You don't put 'em in a
ethnicity,
box, you just-
religion, background.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody is welcome.
And I got one more question. Do we
Okay.
have enough time?
Yeah.
Transgendering, being changed from male to male, female,
Yeah.
whatever. Do you get that?
You know, I'm not 100% sure because the therapists respect the privacy of people. So I'm not
You don't know.
invited into the conversation
Well, I'm sure
specifically.
there are
But I'm
people.
sure there are. It's
It's
become
an epidemic.
it's become more of a thing in our society, and so I would be shocked if we haven't had people who are going through
Who are
that situation. Yeah, but I don't know the specifics of
Oh.
that. Just as I wouldn't know the specifics of any married couple coming in to get marital counseling. A little bump there.
Okay. Again, phone number, Crosswinds Counseling, and their their website.
Yeah, it's 877-594-9204, and the website is crosswindscounseling.org.
And if you are suicidal and you're watching this, 988
Yes.
is the number for suicidal hotline, and they're there for you. I'd like to thank you, Curtis Smith.
Patty, thank you. It's great to be back on your show. The last
know.
time
Dang,
I was
I
here, I had a lot more hair. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about the bald head look.
Well, I'm polite.
So does that mean what you were going to say would not have been polite?
No, it wouldn't. I said, you look marvelous.
Well, thank you.
Do you grow a beard?
I've got the goatee going right now. For winter, as we get colder, I might do a beard in January and February.
So over at the top of the head, you need
The top of the head, I've already realized. I shaved my head back in April, so
Right.
it hasn't been all that long, and I haven't really gone through a winter. But
you
even
will.
Right, and even when I did, I realized it's a lot colder. So I'm
You
probably going to
think-
wear more hats.
We
This
have
winter.
hats and headbands and all 9 yards.
Yep.
Well, we'll see you next week, and thank you, Curtis,
Thanks, Patty. Great to be with you.
for being on my show. We'll see you next week, and have a blessed week. Thank you. Good day.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until